Hi, everyone. We're a few minutes late, but nonetheless, here we are. The Golden Girls are back. Sherry, by the way, is experiencing a little electricity loss, but she hopes to be back soon and be able to join us here tonight. Hopefully, she can. So here I am with the beautiful Marina, aka Sophia, and the lovely Cleo the Seer, aka Dorothy. And of course, I am Val Rose. the airhead? No. She's a deep thinker.
Yeah. But you know what I always liked about Rose is sometimes she had those moments where you would think that yeah, and what she would say would be very profound.
Yes, profound things could come out of her strange mind.
Yes. Absolutely.
So I am so delighted to have you all here. And I want to say hi to everyone in the chat and all of you beautiful people. We so appreciate you being here with us. And we have Moira. Sorry, Moira. My brain and mouth aren't connected yet. And Janet P, Barbara Nesper, hello, Laura Hammond Davis, Michelle Krantz, and look
there, it's Sherry. Yeah,
her phone does work. She's able to.
Yeah.
And hopefully her electricity will come back on. And Louise, hello, Louise Boat. And we already said hi to Laura. So that's who we got so far in the chat. And hopefully more people will be coming in. And we have a lot to go over in this lovely Golden Girls. A lot of coffee Klatch material.
Yes.
And, one thing that was at the top of the news is Peter Navarro being sentenced to 4 months for defying the subpoena, the Jan 6 committee subpoena, and fined $9,500. Man, do the wheels of justice grind slowly, but it finally, the comeuppance has happened. And, I'm wondering.
He's appealing. His lawyers are going to be appealing. Of course they are.
Of course they are. But here's the thing. I wanted to know if this will start making an impact on these people as these things come up and they actually have that they have to pay the piper for their dissidence or whatever,
Wasn't that the guy that he wouldn't go to court, or he wouldn't do a deposition, or he wouldn't do something like that?
He wouldn't cooperate at all. He wouldn't go into the Jan 6 committee and give his he wouldn't do it. He defied everything. And so
the judge even brought that up in the decision and said, don't make yourself a victim. You were given every opportunity. You are not a victim.
Yeah.
Well, I love it that they sent him to jail for a while. I think that the other people will think twice about what they're doing. But nobody wants to spend time in jail, and they didn't. I know that they just didn't think that was going to come to that.
No.
And what they don't get is that if they're found guilty of whatever it is they ended up doing, they could all go to jail. And a lot longer than how long
absolutely, was it? Absolutely.
4 months. And by the time
he only got it. Almost $10,000 in a fine. That's gotta. Well, maybe to him it's nothing. To me, it sounds like a lot of money. But
me too.
I'm just gonna.
It is a lot of money, but that the point is to make a point. And I just want to say, Marcia Baldwin says, hello, everyone. This is my first time here.
Oh,
Marcia,
hi, Marcia.
Welcome. grab a soup spoon and sit around our table, and we're all dipping into the ice cream bucket as we talk about things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good to have you here. And
now, I would like to interject something. In previous shows, I don't know if the Golden Girls was one of them, but it probably was, because I was just adamant about this, that Nikki Haley would win the New Hampshire primary. And as we all know, she did not win. And so I just wanted to, if anybody looks back at that and goes, well, she didn't know what the hell she was talking about. I do know what I'm talking about. And I even asked the questions of my guides after I knew she lost. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Again, I don't really know, but I do know that I'm not the only one that got that. There's other psychics on here that thought the same thing.
Yep.
We don't know how much monkey business is going on behind the scenes. So
true
interference for entertainment purposes only. But I do not disagree with your original reading at all. And I think I'm going to look at that in a way. In fact, we'll look at that next, because I wanted to go over Trump's statement to the RNC. Anyone who donates money to Nikki Haley's campaign is persona non grata and will not be welcomed into the MAGA camp. So there had to be some kind of, call it manipulation behind the scenes, as far as telling, maybe he had dirt on some compromise on some people. Who knows what happened? But they were, however it all happened behind the scenes, it ended up being that way. But going back,
this was supposed to be that Trump was so far ahead. This was going to be a blowout for him. There was only 8 or 9 points that separated him and her. I don't call that a blowout. And Joe Biden got 61% of the vote because people wrote his name in.
Yeah, so, well, Trump did expect to win bigger than this, but however, New Hampshire has voted Trump in 3. This will be the 3rd time. So New Hampshire has a lot of Republicans, a lot of mega people, and so that's kind of how that happened. But I'm also seeing that this is the most convoluted and helter-skelter kind of campaign, and this whole year is going to be so goofy. That when I kept getting a yes answer for Nikki Haley, and I thought, well, how can you tell me that when I already know she just lost? Now, it might be the way I asked the question. It might be that I asked the question too much. I've been asking it for the last couple of weeks, every day, trying to see what was going to happen. So maybe I did overdo it. On the other hand, it might be that there is something that's happening way down the road about who actually ends up on the ballot and what actually happens with Trump. And I mean, there's all this speculation about his health and stuff. So it might just be something, the way I asked the question. And so it just didn't come out that way. But boy, I was really disappointed. And then I started seeing what Nikki Haley was doing, and she's sticking to her guns. She knows that just anything else that irritates Trump, to know that she won't back out. Why would she back out on the second state? She won't back out until they get into March, where we've got a whole bunch of primaries.
And really, and that segues nicely, Cleo, over into the idea that Trump has asked someone to go forward to the RNC, the Republican National Convention, and vote him in as the presumptive nominee. Ask them to consider that proposal of making Trump the presumptive Republican nominee, which would cut Haley out toot sweet, just like that. So they've actually gone and did this. And next week, it's going to be considered. It was put forward by David Bossie. And they're going to look at it next week. So if in fact that he pulls that one off, then, but I don't know. We'll have to read on whether or not that goes forward. It doesn't seem like it would, because Haley has been playing a part in this, continuing her energy forward. It seems like when we all read on it, like her stuff doesn't end right now. By the way, I did throw some cards on the Navarro thing going back and on people getting, the shoe's going to drop for me. Yeah, here's your Tower moment. Here's your 10 of Swords.
Yeah.
The 4 of Cups that, he's going to have, people are going to have to pay the piper. But so let's look at Nikki Haley in the presidential nominee run. Let's see what's going to happen. Okay.
Well, I also feel that there's a lot of Republicans that don't want Trump. I know that, you're talking about somebody else that's saying, let's just push him through. On the other hand, they're really concerned about will he be convicted of some of these crimes that he's up against? Or will his health hold out? He's been slurring his words a lot, and he's been saying sentences that don't make sense. And then I just about did it myself. And but I mean,
we all know it's because you drink, so that's okay.
Put the whiskey down, Cleo.
That's funny because I don't drink. But
I should say, Dorothy, stop taking a nip here and there.
Yeah,
Dorothy. Now she's Dorothy drinks a lot. But just all these things that I'm thinking, are they so sure about something? I don't know that they will do what you're saying, that they would just automatically put him in there and eliminate everybody else because of that. The thing about the things, the crimes that the felonies that he's up against, because everybody has said, even a lot of mega people have said, if he gets convicted of just one thing, they're not going to vote for him. However, he has been convicted of one thing, and that was
assault.
Her name is the one that he raped.
You're talking about E. Jean Carroll, right?
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
So he was found guilty of that, and he is going to have to pay some. I guess he tried. Wasn't it today that he tried to say something in court, and the judge first of all told him.
The judge told him to shut up. He's got slapped back down.
Yes, he did. He did. Yeah.
But I looked at Nikki Haley in the future in her run for nominee. Here's the celebration card. So that's the 3 of Cups. Here's another Knight of Cups, yes card. And here is a walking away with something kind of cards. I don't know if this is when she decides I'll take a deal in the new administration. I'm not sure. But this is definitely, she's looking at her options later down the road. But she's with it. She's there.
Yep.
In it. So I don't think this.
That's what I was getting, is that she would, that Trump would not be on the ballot, but she would. But, now I'm doubting all of that because of what just happened in New Hampshire. On the other hand, she also thinks she's going to get South Carolina. She was governor there twice. But they're also, Trump's looking around like, well, no, I've got that too. So that'll be the next one.
He
changes. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Totally.
Go ahead.
So this is Visions in the Liminal Space, and these cards can answer both the questions. Okay. I start off with the Miracle Mile, and then her hanging in there until she decides that she wants out, or it's Trump saying that he needs to have, it's a miracle that's going to get him down to the end of the road. Okay. Sparkle, bitch, sparkle. So that is, again, Nikki Haley, you just go ahead and shine, sweetheart. And Trump, oh yeah, we can all see you shining. And then look at this. The last card, acceptance is the answer. So does she need to accept that she has to stay in the race? Or is this Trump saying, I'm going to have to fight. I'm going to have to fight for this. Oops.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
What happened?
And it just makes me think that Trump's got so much support from Russia, just like he did in 2016, that's why he's just so arrogant and confident in the whole thing, because he has foreign interference in this election, just like we've had in the past. And everybody's got to be really watching out for that. I mean, with all the negative things that are said about Biden and all that, that all comes together because of the interference from other countries.
Absolutely. A good point, Cleo, to remember that this is going on under the scenes. And when you see a lot of headlines about something negative, you've got to really pay attention to what it really says. And I think it was Marina who mentioned to always make sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Make sure that you really read it and look into how that is framed, so you can see that there's always another side to everything. And just they spun it to say it this way, it doesn't mean what you think it means.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. That comes up with me all the time. I mean, I've always had a little bit of a hard time with that, but yeah, when I'm picking up on something that Nikki Haley is going to get something, that is the energy at that moment in time. Yeah. And, that's why I kept reading on it every day, because I was thinking it didn't look to me, it didn't really look great, but it was what I wanted. And I kept thinking it's got to be my own ego in the way. But then I can see that even when it came out, when she did win, and my guides are still telling me the same thing. And I'm thinking, okay, what's up? What is up? Something is definitely up, because why would they do that? And I know that I did not get their message incorrect. So
Nikki Haley has a lot of good energy going for her in all of this. So I don't think you're reading it correctly at all.
They should definitely go for her. They should definitely go for her, because she'll still do I don't agree with her policies. She'll still do the goofy policies, but she could be the one person that could bring everybody more together. It would just, and especially if she won, which I don't think she would, but she could really be the catalyst for the Republican Party, because they are in terrible shape. They're not getting anything. And
exactly.
Too many egos in there trying to get their own face in the sun and hand in the pot. So,
and for those of you that are asking where Sherry is actually on her phone, because the power in her building went out. So we're hoping, that she can't get on her computer, but she's here in the room with us, and at least she's got, on her phone, she can check in every once in a while just to see what's going on. But
Blanche is sitting in the dark.
Sitting in the dark.
He lit some candles around her room, and that's how she's sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
She's still sitting in the dark. Blanche is still sitting in the dark. Oh.
Yeah. Isn't that sad? Oh, Nikki. Yeah. Carrie, you're absolutely right. And this kind of turns me off really bad. Nikki said she pardoned 45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She will have people work till they're 70 years old instead of getting their Social Security at 65 or 67.
Wow.
No, well, now it's older, right? Now it's what is it? What did they raise it to? I don't know. No way is she any better than 45. I haven't paid enough attention to her, but it'd be hard to be as bad as 45 because you'd have to be calling people names like a little kid. So
Yeah,
unless you're a kindergartner, I don't think you could get.
Yeah,
she's more reasonable. She's more of an adult.
Right.
It's like I don't agree with her policies.
Yeah.
I don't want somebody like that in the White House. But right now, I'm so tired of seeing Trump every single day on the internet or on the news or whatever. And I was just hoping that she would take over and do something. It's not that I'm really for her. I'm just not for Trump.
For Trump. Yeah.
So anybody but Trump would be fine with me.
Yeah.
Well,
and I think that's what a lot of people are voting for her for that reason, is because they don't want Trump. The GOP can't see it, or they don't want to see it, or you know what? I think it really feels like it's a case of they know the end is coming, and they're going to grasp and hold on until they're absolutely forced out. You know, that the fingertips are on the edge of the cliff, and someone's going to come by with their high heels and just bash them all until they let go. But,
which really what you just said, Marina, leads me to this one segue into this Republicans' flail on bipartisan border deal. I just want to talk about after Trump orders them to reject it because he doesn't want to win for Biden. The bill will be ready for a Senate vote as early as next week. The GOP has to decide whether they're going to obey Trump or tackle the border crisis that they've been screaming about all this time. So
we're going to build the wall.
He doesn't want Biden to have a win before the election.
Yeah.
This is what it's all about. So how much power does Trump have in the party still is
way
what
too much.
way too much. Even those who know, behind the scenes, they can't stand it. They're so done with it. He is still has this much power to tell a group he's not even in politics anymore, except that he's trying to be the nominee for the Republican Party. So why are these people kowtowing to him? What is this about? I don't understand it.
Because
to be honest with you,
he has dirt on all of these people. And they went in with the January 6th thing and other things, and they just followed him. And he told them, or he led them to believe that if they got in trouble, he would be right there to help them out. So, but he does. He's got dirt on Lindsey Graham. He's got dirt on Jordan.
McConnell.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got
all of those people. So, because they've got other dealings going on. And they've got foreign deals going on. But yes, Trump is, and also Trump is doing what he's doing to benefit his businesses. It has really he likes being in power. He's power hungry. He wants to be a dictator, but most of all, he wants to use that to enhance his wealth by doing deals with other countries and stuff. So,
he's not doing it because he loves America.
No.
He doesn't give a hoot about any other people and what happens to the people. It's all about him, how it benefits him. So he's being a bully. He's doing what he's always done, which is intimidation. And you know what? As long as people don't have the cojones to stand up to him and say no, he's going to keep doing it because it's worked for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and what was the most recent thing? If you don't, you guys were just talking about it before we went on. If we don't, follow his rule or whatever Trump wants, then you're out of it.
If you give money to Nikki Haley.
People that give money to Nikki Haley's campaign, Trump announced to everyone that those people will be persona non grata and will not be accepted into the MAGA camp ever. They're not. We don't want them.
You know, and what's interesting about that is one of the big donors to Nikki Haley also happens to be a donor to Trump. They're looking at, you know, just in case Trump doesn't make it in, and they want this one, but they're actually leaning more and more towards Nikki Haley. But you know, it just sounds like somehow Trump has it all wrapped up, and she won't be the nominee. But I get messages that say, no, it's not quite like that. It's not. I think it's just going to be so much different than anything we've ever seen before. Yeah. That we couldn't have second guessed it. We couldn't even imagine what might be happening.
No.
I think you're right about that. And I like what Mickey says, bullies only have power when we let them have power. Yeah. And these people can't help but let them have power because he's got so much dirt on them. He's made a career out of getting dirt on people so that he can leverage. I hate to use the word, but the Epstein way. Yes. So either Epstein learned it from him or he learned it from Epstein or something, or maybe they have the same playbook. But
he's been doing this the whole time, ever since 2016. He has been setting things up, like putting all the judges in there, that he has control over the judges. And he is actually threatening the Supreme Court and getting away with it. Yep. He's saying if the Supreme Court doesn't deliver an opinion that is in his favor, that there's going to be chaos and bedlam in the country because they don't.
Quote unquote. Yes.
Yeah.
He said exactly that.
He's going to be. It's either he wants to have this immunity that is beyond immunity. I mean, it just I can do anything I want. Immunity.
Yeah.
And also that
beginning with him, it wouldn't apply to Biden.
He wants to be a king.
Yeah. Well, and he wants.
Hey, Michelle.
God, what was the other thing? I just had it.
Oh, sorry.
Immunity and whatever. It'll come back.
Man, I hate it when that happens. I'm sure it'll come back to you.
These days.
Yeah, that's all of us. Don't worry about it. But I just want to say, so George Conway today got on one of his shows. Love that guy. So he says Trump has been charged with 91 felony counts in 4 cases, and any number or combination of convictions on any of those 91 counts, would see him in jail for the rest of his life. He's trying to give you, hold on, step back. He's not going to get away with no felony counts. It's too improbable. He will be in jail for the rest of his life if he's alive. But
I just want to kind of mention Arthur, Ease Your Mind, has said several times, don't you have to be alive to be president?
Yes, exactly.
And I do have some ideas about that, but I decided I'm not going to. He has made a lot of people angry, so I see that. I'm not going to go there, but I could see that he could be removed. And the other thing that he's so concerned about is being taken off the ballot. Yes. I love that. But
like
he's
not on our ballot here in Nevada. He's not on our ballot. Just
Isn't
so
he?
You know.
Really?
I don't think so. My husband is a Republican, and he's not on that ballot. Now I have Biden on my ballot.
Well, he's upset about that. And again, he's telling the courts, that you can't do that. And other people that are way smarter, that have, they have a great legal background, they're saying, well, now, if you follow the Constitution, you really have no choice. The Constitution says insurrection, you're out of here. So there,
and Cleo, it And also, I totally agree with you because there's something about it in the Constitution that if you are associated or have any kind
aid
of
and comfort
contribution to that in any way, you don't have to be convicted. You just have to show.
No, you don't have to be convicted.
So, he cannot be legally, by the definition of the Constitution, he's not legally allowed to be a candidate.
Right.
Then, finally.
That's what I'm thinking. Why are we even arguing about why is he even in
There
this?
isn't even that. It's,
you know, just
it's
let
a
it go.
bully.
He's ineligible. He's ineligible to be
He's
to run for president.
He's ineligible.
In our state, they're talking about it too. We had one little tiny county that went through it, and the judge said that it was kind of out of her jurisdiction. You know, I mean, she wasn't the person to make that decision, so they just let it go. But it's still up in the air on that. And I mean, you know, the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court goes against the Constitution of the United States.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, I know. I mean, hello, our most sacred document, the foundation of our democracy or it's just it's doesn't make any sense.
And Thomas Carrier Ray says, wasn't Benedict Arnold hung for less? Absolutely.
Rose Blue says his people didn't do the paperwork on time. So, you know, because you have to file the papers in each state to be on the ballot. Well, wouldn't that just be, that's really true. Oh
my gosh. Oh my gosh.
That's hilarious. But that's funny.
You know, an artist said
she doesn't Arnold was hung for less, for sure. Yeah. I'm a little slow on the clicking. But
you had an artist up there, and she said she doesn't see Trump making it to the elections.
Yeah,
I don't see that. I don't see him getting there either. But I don't know how or why that's going to work. I mean, I thought I knew, but now I'm unsure about how that would happen.
And you know what? How it happens is really irrelevant as long as it happens. It will happen.
But I've heard a lot of Democrats say, Democrat politicians say, go for it. They'd much rather have Trump on there than Nikki Haley, because Nikki Haley might give Biden a little bit of a run for his money, where they think that Trump doesn't have a chance in hell.
Yeah, it could be. Now, switching to another subject, Florida universities have replaced sociology, the study of social problems in the world, like with the poor and whatnot, with U.S. history. They believe it is an illegitimate discipline driven by woke ideology. And last week, the Florida Board of Education banned the use of public funds for diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in all 28 state colleges in Florida. I'm like, this is like bad. This is as bad. This is worse even. No, it's on the same part as banning books, like burning books. I mean,
they have banned books. Don't say gay. Oh my God. That's going to destroy our state if we'd say gay. It's so ridiculous. And I can't believe that Florida is, I don't know. If they get rid of DeSantis, will this all change? I don't know. But I don't see DeSantis.
Well,
I think it's going to be, he'll be lucky to make it through the end of his term.
I think you're right about that. I know a lot of people who live in Florida now, and they are nothing like that ideology. So I wonder if they're being asked to move there by their, impetus of their soul to kind of bring that energy up, but as light workers. But let's read on that and let's ask if. Oh, here's Sherry. Oh, yay.
Oh,
I'm so excited.
Hi.
Hey, Sherry.
You made it. So
I made it.
Sherry,
Yeah,
I'm
we're
so
almost
excited.
getting ready to leave now, but thanks for coming.
I know, but that's okay. At least I was on long enough
No.
to say, hey.
So I
No. Good. So glad you got power. And so
Sherry,
glad you're here.
we're taking a look at. Yeah, me too. So we're taking a look
I
at
was trying to make sure my
whether or not Florida is going to continue with its hardline educational policies, or will Florida, once DeSantis is gone, will Florida become softer with their Board of Education banning books and stopping
I wish they'd
sociology
go back
from
to
being
the educational system they had when I lived in Florida. It had one of the top educational systems for public education in the whole country because it was based on the Montessori system, which is an excellent teaching method and great success. And why they went away from it, I don't know, but yeah.
Well, let's ask if Florida will reverse their education policies, if the board will, maybe they'll vote some board members out and they'll get a new crop.
Well, you know, one thing that came up.
Were y'all discussing, I'm sorry, Cleo, I didn't mean to interrupt. Were y'all discussing the fact that they're trying to pass a new bill that would allow 15 and 16-year-olds to work full time?
What?
Oh, I haven't
Florida,
talked about
today,
that. We were talking
they
about
introduced a bill to make it legal for 15 and 16-year-olds to work 30 plus hours a week, and they could work over 8 hours a day on a school day.
I've heard about that. Right now, we're looking at Florida's universities, and they're replacing sociology with U.S. history, and that they're not going to allow any kind of social programs or ideology to be taught. And so we want to know if Florida will revert back the old way. And after DeSantis, and I see an open road after he's gone. But then it's funny. This is my Trump card, and this is Russia. What do you get? The tower. Does that mean it's not going to go back? Is it? I don't know which that means.
And then the Two of Wands. So
you know what? I think that this is somebody's idea, a great idea, but they've backed themselves into a corner, and they're going to have to walk it back. I get the 9 of Wands, the 10 of Swords, and the 4 of Wands. So yeah, they're going to try, but no, people are not going to put up with it. How can you not teach diversity, equity? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? It's 2024, not 1724.
It doesn't make any sense.
And also, I do think that the people in Florida will turn things around. The problem is that DeSantis has made such a mess out of things. He's going to lose a lot of money because of what he's done to Disneyland, and what he's done to Mickey Mouse is criminal. And
yes,
you know, I just can't get over that anybody would
touch our sacred
land. I mean, the Disneyland in Florida has brought in so much money and so much tourism, and so just money galore.
In the area where Disney World is at, there in Florida, all of that, like county or whatever, the residents that live there didn't pay taxes, because part of the deal that Disney made with the state was that if they built everything there, they would pay all the taxes for that area, so the residents wouldn't have to, in order for Disney to have more autonomy over their business there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now everybody that lives there suddenly has these multi-million-dollar bills to pay taxes.
Oh, God.
You think they're going to?
No wonder DeSantis' name is Mud.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Those people are pissed
I pull the tower, then I pull the Two of Wands.
Yeah.
and then I pull the sixth of cup.
All right.
So,
But you know,
It's
ironically,
nostalgia for how
I
it
heard
was.
that abortion is legal in Florida.
right.
Is it?
Is that true?
Yeah.
Well, I don't get it. I don't get it. Get rid of the homos, but go ahead if you want abortions. That's okay. I mean, it's craziness. Just burn the books. I mean, where are they coming from? It makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. It's the right hand not knowing what the left hand is doing, and all over the place. It's
you know, let's look at Sherry, the 15 and 16-year-olds that are they're voting on whether they can work in Florida. Let's look at that and see.
Because right now there's a law throughout most of the country that until you hit like 17 or 18, or at least finish high school, you're not allowed to work full time.
Yeah. And they're letting you work.
There's a law so that 15 and 16-year-olds can work 30 plus hours a week, whether if it's a school night or not. And
well,
I literally,
while I was all those young
sitting on the patio in the dark, I literally got into an argument with somebody on Facebook because I posted an
they
article.
don't have papers anymore, so
and they were like, well, they're talking about 15 and 16-year-olds, not little kids. I said 15 and 16-year-olds need to be worried about passing math and science.
Well,
they don't
you
need
know,
to be worried
I got
about a full-time job.
Yeah, you need to, and I got, there's going to be a war over it in jail. In other words, I don't think that's going to fly.
Yeah.
That's criminal. Really?
Isn't
it child abuse?
Well, it's just another step in the Republican plan to keep them stupid and illiterate so that they can be the new slaves.
Manipulated.
Yeah,
Manipulated.
If you don't have an education, then you can't get a better job. You can't provide for your family better. So what happens? You work for slave wages, doing crap jobs where you have no say over anything, and they get all the money.
Right.
It's all
right. Energy follows intention. So this I think what's going to happen here is there's a lot of people that are going to step up and say, oh, hell to the no, to quote Linda G. Because you know what? There are adults who are supporting families who are looking for that full-time job. And maybe those jobs should go to the adults while the kids need to get an education so that they don't have to do manual labor at 15 and 16.
Well, and the thing of it is that they've outlawed immigrants being there. So the fruit crops and stuff are literally rotting in the fields because there's nobody there to pick the fruit.
Wow.
Because they can't get adult white people to go out and do that kind of work for minimum wage. They're like, you got to be out of your freaking mind. So what do? They're going to make it legal for 15 and 16-year-olds to work, and they can shove their asses out in the field to go work for minimum wage, picking fruit or picking cotton or whatever it is that else they grow there besides oranges.
I think the good news is that something like that, even if they did allow it, there's going to be some kids that are going to go, yeah, fantastic, I'm going to make my own money. And they're going to go and they're going to get that job. And they're going to get their first paycheck. And they're going to go, WTF. I thought I was making X number of dollars per hour, and I only got this much pay. What happened to, where did the rest of my salary go? Well, there's taxes and there's this and there's that and what, and all of a sudden what you thought was a great job is like, I paid more in taxes than I'm taking home. So they're not going to last long. I mean, let's face it, 15, 16, 17-year-olds are very, they're very selfish when it comes to things like that. And what are they going to do? They're going to say, yeah, I'm not working out there 8 hours for this. I'll go back to school.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's funny. Michelle from Astrological Tarot says dictators don't have a history of liking cartoon characters. President Xi banned poo everywhere in China. If he had a sense of humor, it would have served as a great PR for his campaign. That's hilarious.
Yes.
And true.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, very much
Well, I
so.
still go back to the kids could have a paper route. I mean, that's what, when I grew up, all these kids had a paper route and they were like 14, 15, 16 years old. But you know, working out 8 hours a day or longer in the orange groves, or, you know, picking bananas or whatever they do in Florida, that's just ridiculous.
It is. And Rose Blue says they can't get a good job or into college without a high school diploma.
Exactly.
So there you go.
Or
That
most of the military won't take you without a high school diploma. And there's only, I think now it's the even a GED won't get you into the military. I know. I think my son was like in the last batch that was able to enter the Navy with a GED, because
his
dad died, you know, senior year, and it screwed up his schooling, and he was like a credit and a half short of graduating. And they waited till 2 weeks before graduation to tell me this. And I'm like, y'all couldn't have said something.
They want your high school. They want to show you're not a quitter, that you can finish something. And so Linda Bishop's saying the kids won't ever be able to have a place to live. We'll be in the parents' home forever. They won't ever leave.
Or we'll turn into like the mining communities turn, you know, where you're living in these hovels, you know, falling down around your ears, and everything you buy at the store, everything you buy for your home is all from the company store. So they just take it directly out of your check, and you come home with nothing.
Oh man, that's sad.
And,
I've seen so many shows about that, Sherry. And they overcharge you in those company stores.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man. Anyway. So okay, so going on to, I had something interesting about it from California, actually. It was Democrat Scott Wiener who introduced a bill as part of a transportation safety package Thursday, and it's about GPS technology being able to prevent cars from going 10 miles an hour over the speed limit, more than. And so all the cars on the road, it's like having a governor stop you from speeding. And it would be going into effect in 2027 if this bill is passed. How do you guys feel about that?
I feel that's a very dangerous bill. You don't want to have the government.
I do too. Thank you.
You know.
Well, the premise
I
what
feel
they're trying to accomplish may be good, but it's like having the government in your bedroom telling you if you could take birth control or not, or put on a condom or not. You know, it's none of your
in
damn
essence, I mean, right? You're well, you don't want your right taken away from you, no matter if you're speeding to the hospital because your wife has, had some kind of stroke, and she happened to have it in the car, and you press on the gas. You want to be able to get there. So I'm just using examples. You don't want somebody.
You're absolutely right. That's what I mean. It's so dangerous. If you got to get the hell out of the way with another car coming at you, and you've got
another car, a runaway big rig is behind you.
When I was,
you got to get out of the way. Boom.
Right.
When I was 18, I went over to a friend's house. She's legally blind, so she's not able to drive. And I went over to her house to find out that her mom had just had her mom had a chemical imbalance in her brain and would just like trip out sometimes. Well, she tripped out and she took like a whole bottle of aspirin or Tylenol or something.
Wow.
And we flipped. And it was like drug her and got her into the car. And then I'm driving like a bat out of hell through town to get to the hospital, which was on the other side of town. And I think of something like that, I think. So what? I would have not been able to get there. And my best friend's mother would have died in the back seat because we couldn't get her to the hospital in time, you know.
I just think the bill's a really bad idea. I know that the guy is trying to think of ways, because there's so many thousands and thousands of people that get killed in car accidents per year, and that he's trying to come up with a way to kind of control that. That's not the way to do it.
Yeah.
And
like I said,
I can't imagine that anybody's
on the right path, but the method is not. So yeah, that's
I mean, good. I do understand. I do understand what he's trying to do, but no, you know, that's So that was all of my lovely questions. Any of you have something you want to look at?
Well, now that you mention it, for those people who don't know, Trump's New York trial was postponed for a couple days because apparently some of the jurors got sick and they thought, you know, probably sick with COVID. They had the symptoms. And at the same time, Alina Habba came down with the same symptoms and said that, yes, she had spent some time with her parents and both of them had COVID. So the trial was, you know, put on hold. Obviously, people are sick. Well, that would have been okay, except for the fact that she had her picture taken with Trump at the New Hampshire primary and at the party afterwards.
Without a mask.
Without a mask. So now I suspect that, having shown up to court today, or showing up to court tomorrow, if I was the judge, the first thing that I would say is, want to explain it to me so I understand? Like, tell me like I'm a 3-year-old. You have COVID, and then here I have pictures of you at a party. This really, to me, smacks of, don't worry, Donald, I'll find a way so you don't have to be in court. They don't want to give us that extra time. I'll find a way to get us the extra time.
It does sound like it, doesn't it?
When it comes to the jurors, there's alternates. That's what they're there for, is when somebody else gets sick or something, the alternates go in. But the lawyer, I don't know. The lawyer, you're right. Yeah, it sounds to me like just BS to postpone something because they couldn't get it postponed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I pulled the Queen of Swords. So she's already
coming up.
facing something. Followed by the High Priestess. So that's going to be even more trouble coming her way. Ending with the 8 of Wands.
Coming at her fast.
Yeah.
So somebody going to have to pull that girl aside and tell her that she ain't going to be Mrs. Trump the 4th.
No, Melania is not going to divorce him.
No,
even going to divorce him. I just read an article somebody wrote just the other day. Somebody had asked something on a show about, well, they didn't understand why Melania hadn't gone ahead and divorced him yet. And this woman responded and said, she's not stupid. She's not divorcing him. He's the money train. And until the money is completely gone, she's not going anywhere. You know, so.
Well, you can
renegotiate
her a little bit of money. She's probably got a couple other bank accounts right now where she's just like, if I just take a little here and a little there, will anybody notice? And if they do notice, what are they going to do about it? I'm the wife. I can do what I want.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. You can bet your bippy for entertainment purposes only that's happening.
Well, yeah, every time
So I
he
mean,
does something
she
that's one more step further, suddenly she disappears. You know damn well she's in negotiations to change that contract.
she renegotiates the prenup, renegotiates the contract. Every time that she disappears, like Sherry said, she's doing a new one until she gets what
She
she
didn't want to
wants.
be first lady the first time around. You think she wants to do it again?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it had to be worth her while.
About Christmas.
You know?
Has she even appeared with Trump in the last 3 years? No,
No, not really.
no, she's not really
Somebody
involved with
said somebody said at her mother's funeral, Trump afterwards tried to get into her car with her, and she wouldn't let him in.
I saw the video.
Yeah. Yeah.
She and her father drove away.
Yeah, she shook her head and pointed to the car behind her, shut the door in his face. I was like, "Oh, that's gorgeous."
It was like, "Hey man, you stink." Yeah, no way, not here. Yeah, in
so
terms of Alina Hava, look, I get Excelsior, which is, remember, pulling the sword out of the stone, doing the magic. Yeah. I can do this. Okay.
Yes.
Next card out was You May Never Know. So I think that, yeah, it was not a case of her being sick. It was her setting up a situation that she can yeah,
benefit
do the delay thing, right?
Yeah.
And say, well, yeah. I was sick and then I felt a little better and then I took a test and it came back negative. So, my client asked me to go. What could I say? Someone had to babysit him. So there I was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That makes perfect sense to me.
It does.
She's already counting her pennies. She's waiting to get her money.
She can bet on that. Yeah.
Followed by the 10 of Wands. She thinks if she bundles it all up and wraps it in a bow, it's going to be hers. Ending with the 2 of Wands. No, not going to happen.
I'm still hung up on what's in that coffin.
Yeah.
What's really in that coffin? That just made me think of Trump's, whatever his gold currency is in the coffin, whatever that is.
You're talking about the one buried in the golf course?
It weighs a whole lot.
Yes, Cleo. The one, his ex-wife,
whoever heard of
a whole slew of people to carry that damn coffin for some ash.
I mean, they strained.
They did.
And now they've got it fenced off. They won't let anybody get in there and weed it and cut the grass or nothing. It looks horrible.
There you go.
The weeds to take over.
That's proof. That's proof.
Wait a minute. Are you saying, Sherry, that the woman was cremated?
Yes,
she's not in there.
She was cremated within 24 hours of dying.
She was cremated so fast she couldn't do it.
The coffin?
Yes.
Cremated so
the
fast
coffin doesn't have her in it.
Autopsy.
The whole thing about the coffin was smoke and mirrors to get stuff in there. So it was really heavy, whatever it was. So they did, the reason why we all speculated on how she died in the beginning, because they burned her body, cremated her so fast your head would spin.
Yeah.
You couldn't even do an autopsy to find out, a forensic autopsy to find out what killed her. No. And she didn't even want to be cremated.
Well, didn't they say it was kind of unusual that she fell down the stairs when she'd always used the elevator?
Always used the elevator. Had a weak knee. So why would she be going, or her hips had been bothering her.
And had
why would she ever use the stairs?
And within a couple of weeks before she died, she had been complaining about having fainting type attacks, vertigo or something.
Vertigo, yeah.
So why would you be on the stairs that you never take instead of taking the elevator?
especially if you're getting dizzy and having vertigo. Like, oh, well, I used to do the elevator, but now that I can't even stand up and I'm out of balance, let me go ahead and fall down the damn stairs.
That's too convenient. Convenient.
Like windows.
That's the other theory. There may have been a little push involved.
A little something like that.
Rose Blue, her DNA was ending in a couple days, not weeks, in a couple days.
Yes, there you go.
She was days away from
being able to disclose, and they were afraid she'd do a book or something because why not? She could.
Yeah.
So there were too many
down the stairs was very reminiscent
about that.
Windows.
Yeah.
You know,
what a weird
people
thing.
falling out of first floor windows and dying.
Yeah. No, something fishy about that. It doesn't sit well with me.
Valerie says that Sterling saw drugs in her system.
Yeah. I've heard several
Sterling sees drugs in her system.
They
say that the coffee she was holding, somebody could put a little something in there and she didn't know it. Just saying.
Well, and I love that she's been instantly cremated so that nobody can ever find out what happened. Now, what is it?
It's all too convenient.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Well, we're talking about what is in the coffin, and people are talking about gold bars, money, documents that he wasn't supposed to have, that he wants to have in there, that he's hiding still, and who's going to go dig it up from there? They couldn't find it in Mar-a-Lago, so he did hurry up and put it in a coffin and buried it in the golf course. This is just so bizarre. I can't wait to see the movie.
Like, you know what? Yeah, if this was a script that someone had written and handed into a company, read it and they go, "Oh, come on!"
Yeah,
that can't be real. But you know what? Here it is. No one would think from the time Trump won and took over, all this thing could be a melodrama, a 24-part series of no one would believe it. They think, this writer's outlandish, that.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, it's we're at the top of the hour, everyone, and I am just so thankful we could get together and do this as our Blanche, Dorothy, Sophia, Rose characters, and truth is stranger than science fiction.
Yeah.
It's really true. I mean, so here's the thing. All of you beautiful people in the chat give us inspiration and great ideas about what to talk about. We thank you so much for being here. And I want to thank all these lovely ladies here for joining me and joining us tonight. And Marina, do you have anything coming up that you want to share on your channel?
As it turns out, oddly enough, tomorrow I'll be appearing on the Val show again, when Val is going to be hosting Story in the Cards tomorrow, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So that's what I've got coming up. Next week, if you want to know what I'm up to next week, just go over to my page. Usually sometime Saturday, Sunday, I'll post a little thing that says, want to know what I'm up to this week? And I'll tell you what I'm doing every day. But that's a big one. Story in the Cards.
Yeah, I love that show. I love what you guys do on Story in the Cards. And even the title, Story in the Cards, is so perfect. And you guys are a lot of fun to watch.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Cleo. Appreciate that. And what do you have coming up, Cleo?
Well, we got a polyterology tomorrow with Deanne and somebody named David. And I think Val and Gerald are going to be on that too.
Tuesday, David.
Yeah.
So that should be good. And then I got a Mystic 4 on Monday. But There's also this thing that my sister's trying to do called Visualize a New World is coming up on Sunday. And I like the concept, but I don't think she's kind of got she hadn't quite figured out exactly how, first of all, she hadn't figured out exactly what she wants to call it. She's changed the name and I can't remember what it is now. But, I like the concept of a lot of people getting together and just kind of visualizing a better world. Yeah, that's what we love to do. But I really love doing the Golden Girls with you guys. This is so much fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it's just great. And I'm glad that Sherry could make it for the last few minutes here.
We missed your energy, Sherry. Without the four of us here, there's some energy component missing.
One of the purposes of living close enough to a hospital that you're on the same electrical grid as them. You're going to get cut back on faster.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So, Sherry, what do you have coming up on your channel?
Let's see. Tomorrow night, I have Terry Holding Your Space is going to be my guest at 6:00 Central. And then Saturday at noon, I'm going to be on Hershey's channel to play scavenger hunt. I'm not quite sure exactly how we're doing it, but I'm being pitted against Aley. So I was like, okay, whatever. Aley will win that. And then at 2:00, I have Kelly the Mystic Next Door coming on Saturday.
Nice.
And then Sunday is the first episode of my other new show, Mastering Mental Wellness, with Isaac, who's a professional counselor. And the concept of the show is to talk about different stressors. I think we're going to cover boundaries this first week and be able to offer like worksheets that people can download and fill out to see if they're, checking off too many boxes and stuff, and provide some alternative contacts for them if whatever it is they're dealing with is pointing more towards you need professional help. And I did my first episode of Draining the Swamp this past week with Mel and Arthur, and it was a big hit. They were both tickled, and they were like, no, we can't do this just once a month. We have to do it twice a month. So going into February, we'll be doing it on the 2nd and 4th Monday of the month.
Oh, cool.
And,
very good.
Polyterology is coming out the wazoo. I think I'm on after tomorrow, not tomorrow night because I've got Terry on, but following that, I think I'm on every one for the whole month of February.
All right.
Nice.
Woo!
That's
great.
It makes it easier for her, to have.
That's great, Sherry.
Somebody else
and I
care of the other.
Wonderful.
So, and a bunch of other stuff in between there. So I'm ripping and running.
You can probably go to your community page and see, what's going on, or look at your upcoming lives.
I need to do what Marina does and just put up a post of here's this week's schedule. And
that would be really good, because when you have a lot going on, people can just pick it and see what day it's on and what time it is. So align that, a TV schedule.
Well, and it helps you because then you can remember.
Before I go, I just want to let everyone.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Val.
Yes,
go ahead.
And you can remember everything. So I just wanted to say I have 2 classes in February. If you want to go to dragonflycrystals.store, you could sign up for a meditation class and also the Akashic Records training. You can learn how to read the Akashic Records in that one class. And then the meditation class, you can learn how to get messages from your angels and guides in real time as you're in that meditation. So sign up for that if you can or you feel called to. And with that, I'm going to let everyone go. Thank everyone in the chat and send you lots of love to everyone. And thank you for being with us.
You for being
and next,
here.
it's going to be, who hosts it next time?
Let's see. Golden Girls.
Marina.
It's always multi-stream. Uh-oh.
Wait a minute. I've got Val as doing the next one. No, that's not true.
No, you're doing the next one on the 8th.
I'm on the 8th. Okay, it's me.
And then
I have to fix my calendar.
Okay,
You're
very
the 8th.
good.
I'm
So
the
we have
22nd. And then
so bye. Bye, everyone.
Right.